So we are expecting a 75% increase to covered California premiums in 2026. 75%. That is a big change, and it's due to a few different factors, which I will be explaining in this video. I'm Sebastian. I talk to people about health insurance every day. I'm a licensed broker. I've seen what works, and I've also seen what can cost people big time. So insurance companies are increasing their rates, and it's due to a few different factors, with some of them being higher cost medical bills. We have more people using emergency care, and also new high cost medications, which insurance companies have to pay out for. And that is leading insurance companies to increase their rates, right? For example, in 2026, BlueCross BlueShield has proposed a 27% rate increase. 27%. That is a pretty high percentage if you ask me. Now, the issue is we are expecting a premium increase of a lot more than 27%. I mean, we are expecting the premiums to increase by 75% for most people, 75%. And it's primarily due to one big factor. Now, this one factor that is driving the premiums up so much is the enhanced subsidies through the marketplace are set to expire at the end of 2025. And to give you a background behind the enhanced subsidies, if we go back to 2021, it was a part of the Inflation Reduction Act and the American Rescue Act. And that's when the government said, well, a lot of people are losing their jobs due to COVID. They're also losing their employer insurance. So they have to go from employer insurance to an alternative, which was the marketplace for a lot of people. And we are going to help out Americans even more. And we are going to enhance the subsidies offered through the marketplace, right? Because so many Americans, so many Californians were choosing the marketplace for their health insurance. And this enhancement primarily did two things. Number one, it increased the number of tax credits offered through the marketplace. So each person or each family that had coverage through the marketplace now got more of a tax credit, meaning their premium would be lower. The second thing that this expansion did, or this enhancement did, is it made tax credits available to those making over 400% of the federal poverty level. So in plain English, middle to higher income earners can now qualify for a tax credit when they previously weren't able to. Now, that has made coverage a lot more affordable for a lot more people for the past few years, ever since 2021. But now, again, this enhancement, the enhanced subsidies, are set to expire at the end of 2025 unless Congress renews them, which as of right now, at the time of this recording, it's in August, we're in the middle of August. It doesn't really look like Congress is doing anything to actually renew these enhanced subsidies, which means that on January 1st of 2026, the government is going to start paying less of your premium, right? They're not going to pay as much. And those making over 400% of the federal poverty level will no longer qualify for a subsidy whatsoever. So that's a pretty big deal. We are going to see a lot of people dropping their coverage. And to get a little bit more into this, I mean, we're going to see a vicious cycle where we have healthy people thinking, well, I never really use my health insurance. Maybe I use it a couple times a year. I really don't get many prescriptions. I can't justify this huge premium increase because I never really use my insurance. So they are going to opt out of coverage, and that's going to leave unhealthy people on the pool of insureds, right? Because if you have somebody who's unhealthy, they go to the doctor a lot, they can't afford their prescriptions without their insurance, they're just going to have to bite the bullet and pay the higher premium. Which leads me to my main point of we're going to have a lot of unhealthy people on insurance through Covered California, which is going to mean that the average claims that need to be paid out per member is going to increase, right? And that means that premiums are also going to be increased. Now, there is another change that is actually good news, and it's that anybody with a bronze or a catastrophic plan can now enroll into an HSA starting 2026. That is something that most likely will happen. So this is very good news because there are 4 specific advantages to an HSA. There are 3 specific tax savings with HSAs, and then there's one more benefit to HSAs, which I will explain, that has to do with tax credits and the marketplace. And by the way, an HSA is a health savings account where you can contribute money to that savings account tax-free. And then when you spend that money on qualified medical expenses, that is also tax-free. And on top of that, you can actually invest the money in your HSA, and the earnings are also tax-free. So those are the 3 tax advantages to an HSA. Now, another benefit to an HSA when it comes to Covered California and the marketplace is that it can actually lower your adjusted gross income, which is what the marketplace asks for, modified adjusted gross income, which means if you are making a little bit more than the threshold that you need to be making to qualify for a tax credit, contributing towards your HSA will actually allow you to lower your income and then possibly qualify for a tax credit. More on that in another video. There are a lot more changes coming, so make sure to subscribe to stay informed about that. And now a little bit more about how you can actually be prepared for the changes that are coming. Now, the first thing to do is just expect higher premiums. All right, you're going to have to create an extra budget for this, and just be prepared a little bit early so that you're not blindsided as soon as you get a charge from your insurance company for twice the premium. Right, just have a budget allocated for this. Check if you still qualify for subsidies. Don't give up just because these changes are coming. You can still see if you qualify for a subsidy, and just do your research in advance. Right, there are more changes coming. Again, make sure to subscribe to stay informed about that. And one more thing is there will be other options to Covered California in 2026, which I will be covering in videos very soon. So make sure to subscribe so that you know about your options when your premium increases in 2026. Now, I did make a video about a plan on Covered California that is arguably the best plan on the market right now for a few different reasons. So make sure to watch this video so you can be informed about that.